Hi students and welcome once again. Today we'll be talking about the functions of communication. So first of all, according to Lee Thayer, basically, he has stated the functions of communication as per him, the basic functions of communication are, first of all, the information function. Information function means adapting oneself to the environment or adapting yourself to the environment or adapting the environment to oneself is called information. I mean, either you adapt to the environment or adapt the environment towards you. This is known as information. So basically, the information is one of the biggest function of communication. The information has to be passed on, right? Second is the command or the instructive function. This basically is more observable in the formal organization where there is a boss, there is a person who's under the boss, who's learning from the boss. There are supervisors, and there are people who work under the supervisor. So basically this is the where the command or the instructive function takes place. So basically what is the hierarchy? See, so people are who are at the top rank, like the director or the COE of a company. Those who are hierarchically superior within an organizational structure will be both privileged and they will be able to command. Okay, and as per David Berlow, basically a good communication is there when there is authoritative function, when he can do and understand the communication. The person who's commanding can understand the communication well, and he can decide properly. He believes that he is doing it for the wellness of the company as well as for the wellness of the people who are working in the company. And when the person who commands is able to mentally and physically comply with it. Okay, third comes the influence or the pervasive function. So as you know that we communicate to influence, I'm communicating so that I can influence you to crack the exam. So the purpose of influencing another's comprehending system is basically to alter or to change the receiver's beliefs, his knowledge, his understanding, his values, his orientation in some or the other desired way. So by teaching you, I'm persuading you to change your knowledge, to increase your knowledge, right? So this is how I'm influencing you. Okay, so by influencing, basically I'm changing your behavior, and by influencing, I'm changing your behavior. Then there is the integrative function. Now what is the integrative function? Basically, when we are like, it's one-to-one, when the communication is interpersonal means one and one. I'm talking to you. Okay, maybe I'm on a WhatsApp chat and I'm talking to you. So what is that? Interpersonal communication. At the interpersonal level, the major function of communication is integration. Okay, integration, self-integration. That is what the major function of communication is. Then expression. I need to express what I'm trying to tell you. So expression is important. Control. I need to control everything, my emotions, where I have to stop, how I have to, effect. That is important. And motivation. Motivation is also one of the major functions of communication. Okay. So basically these were the functions of communication. So if we talk about types of communications, there is somewhere one is the non-verbal communication, which is any form of communication that is not transmitted through words, spoken words. Okay, there is a verbal communication where I am talking to you. There is a visual communication where I'm just looking at you and you can understand what I mean. And then there is a written communication by the means of letters, words, sentences, etc., etc. So these are the 4 types of communications. Okay, now what is the who and how of communication? Let's talk about this. So basically, what is the who purpose? Who means who is this communication intended? Like this communication is intended for students. So what is the who purpose? The WHO, purpose. And what is the how purpose means? How am I going to communicate? That is something which is very important. So dimensions, if we talk about dimensions, the who is important, who is going to listen to the communication, okay, and how is he going to listen to that communication. So these two things are very important, okay. Now let's talk about the flow of information. Now, maybe I am the external force over here. I am the external force and I am bringing information to you. I am teaching you something, okay. This information is going inside your head, right? From your head, there is some loss of information, right? Some goes and stores itself, and when it comes in the exams, then you are reminded, oh yeah, right, it was there, ma'am had told me about it, right? Some goes to storage areas, and some of it is basically going into action. So what happens, for example, if I'm a community nutritionist, right? And if I go to a community and I tell them that yes, you need to add vitamin C to your iron rich fruits and vegetables so as to increase the hemoglobin level, right? Now this is the information that you give them. Now this information has been stored into the human minds of those people who were listening. Now some of it got lost. They remember, okay, yeah, she had told to add something, but forgotten. Some goes, okay, some goes to storage. They know, okay, yeah, right, vitamin C and iron have to be taken together, but they are not using it. And some of it is going into action. So of all that information I gave, a bunch of information, some of it has been lost, some goes and stores itself somewhere but not used, and some goes into action, okay. So where it stores itself is called the storage of information. Now from here also it goes and losses, okay. So this information is drained, it goes into the garbage bin, and some of it is stored into future use. Okay, might be next time when I cook vegetables, I will add vitamin C, okay. And some is some is for future retrieval, and the one which goes into action, this is the one that leads into action, and this gives the results. This gives the results. So basically this is the flow of information. Now let's talk about the 7 principles of communication, okay. Let's talk about the 7 principles of communication. First is it should be complete, the message should be complete, it should be clear, there should be clarity, it should be concise. I mean, you don't have to beat about the bush, it has to be concise. It should be with courtesy, that means that politely, you should not be very authoritative, no, you need to do this or something like that, okay, very authoritarian, I mean. Then it should be correct, the information should be correct. Then it should be concrete, it should be specific, and it should not be vague. You can't say that, okay, fine, you need to recite this mantra for weight loss, om, boom, bam, whatever, that, and you'll lose weight if you recite this. What is this? This is not specific, this is vague, right? And it should be considered properly, keeping in mind the emotions, the behavior, and the sentiments of the receiver. So these are the 7 principles of communication. Okay, before this we move ahead, let's talk about the purpose of communication. The evaluative function, first of all, what is the purpose? We evaluate the communication. Second is the direction. We direct, the function of directing others or being directed. It has to take place with a proper communication problem. And third is the incidental or the neutral function. So many pieces of communication are not directly communicated with the accomplishment. Maybe We plan something, but it is not accomplished in that way. But maybe indirectly, they are contributing to the satisfaction of the individual needs. So, what is happening? There is a neutral function. Okay. Then, teaching function. Teaching function, I am teaching you something. Okay. That is the teaching function. Image projection. Now, if I am teaching properly, I will have a good image in front of you. So my public goodwill and confidence are created amongst the public. Orientation, it helps to make the people acquainted with the employees. If we are talking about something which goes in a job, in a private sector or in a government sector job, orientation is important, and the interview function is also very important. Okay, so that was the purpose of the functions, and then these were the principles, the 7 C's: complete, clarity, concise, courtesy, correct, complete, clarity, concise, courtesy, correct, concrete, and consideration. Okay, sometimes credibility also comes, context also comes, content also comes, clarity, consistency, capability. So you need to know, you will be able to guess. I mean, one of the C's would be vague. So you will be able to guess which is right and which is wrong. Okay, so this is important. Now, what are the objectives of communication? First of all, empathy. When we communicate with somebody, we create a sense of sympathy or empathy. Then human relations. When we communicate with someone, when I communicate with you, I promote human relation through media, through whatever. Whenever you're watching a reel, okay, you are able to, communicate, you are able to understand. So that is human relations. Persuasion, convincing and motivating to get the things done. So you see a lot of motivational speakers who persuade you. They tell you, okay, wake up in the morning and study in the morning. So this is what? Speech. It is one of the methods to persuade a person. A sense of human interest on the person. If you are interested in listening to me, you will be persuaded to study, understand, and crack your exam. Then the dialogue. The dialogue is very important in the objectives. So basically, it is a process. What is a dialogue? It is a process of conversation or speech with a purpose, and it exchanges the ideas. It has an exchange of ideas. So it is for influencing behavior. Okay, so dialogue is very much important. Information. Now, information is also one of the objectives. So information, new information is passing on to you from me. So that is also very important. Influencing, persuading, influencing, one and the same thing, and understanding. Okay, so this is something that was